Never. I'm gay myself, so.
Gray
Oh.
area with that. I don't think that's a very black and white issue.
Only one person mentioned freedom of speech. Hey guys, in this video I dressed up like a crazy woke liberal and I asked college students on campus one question. In Scotland, you can get arrested if you misgender someone. Do you agree with that? So I realized that it sounds really extreme and not a lot of people will agree with that. So I figured that if someone is unsure, I will follow up with the question, but what if it's intentional misgendering? From the perspective of freedom of speech, there is no difference. So I got a whole range of responses. Let's take a look. In Scotland, you can get arrested if you misgender someone. Yeah, yeah, it's called hate speech laws. So do you support this idea?
I think so. Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with like arresting somebody for doing that, but I do think it is important to protect people who are on the LGBT. That are part of the LGBTQ community from potential hate crimes. I don't know if I would arrest somebody for misusing a pronoun, but I do think it should be socially acceptable to just call somebody by their preferred pronouns.
Like from my perspective, there's a difference between intentional and unintentional misgendering. Like, if I'm going out of my way to harass someone and like intentionally misgender them, it's different from like, making a mistake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. 100%.
I mean, I don't support in arresting, but I mean, if whatever your genders are, it should be respected. But I don't think being arrested should be to that extent. But if you do look for whatever genders, it should be respected.
No, it depends on
I think that's
context. Like depends on how if it's like a hate crime or if it's like a work discrimination, like if it's obviously there then yeah, but if not then I don't think so.
Oh, so you feel it's too much, right? But
Depends on the context. I feel like if it's like I feel like that's for like if it's something like a work.
if it's like intentional or not intentional,
If
maybe.
it's not intentional and it's something that
Yeah.
you're corrected and then you fix it, then I think that's okay. But if you are continuously making somebody uncomfortable and misgendering them on purpose,
And yeah.
then yeah.
Then you might be deserved. You might deserve that. Okay.
I don't know about getting arrested. I understand like maybe getting onto someone, but I don't know if it should be that bad of something. I mean like they should get onto them, but it shouldn't be like a prison type sentence, I feel like.
Like from my perspective, it really depends if it's intentional misgendering or unintentional misgendering.
If it was intentional, I definitely like don't they shouldn't go to jail, but like I guess intentional it can be quite annoying and I guess you could see maybe some type of punishment.
Not really. I know misgendering someone on purpose is not good, but sometimes someone can sleep or say wrongly or you don't know yet. So
Yeah, I've misgendered people by accident, but what if it's like intentional misgendering? Like, and someone is doing it to be annoying and to harass someone.
I would still want to make it illegal because that's part of freedom of speech, I would say, but that's just an American thing. Yeah, but I wouldn't make it illegal either. Even though I would make it in a way that you have consequences because of doing it, but I wouldn't make it like you go to jail just because you misgender someone.
Okay, so in Scotland, you can get arrested if you misgender someone. Do you support that?
Nah, I don't.
What if someone being intentionally misgendered? Like if I identify as they, them, and someone makes sure to use incorrect gender pronouns for me, like shouldn't they have some like consequences?
Um, I don't know if they should have a consequence, but they should just respect other people and call them what they want to be called.
Okay, so you don't believe in any legal consequences for misgendering?
Uh, no.
In Scotland, they just passed this law that if you misgender someone, you can get arrested. Would you support that law?
Absolutely not.
No?
Never. I'm gay myself, so.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So it's an important perspective considering that you're gay. So
Well, I mean, whether it is or not, I think, you know, I don't think it really
Okay.
I don't think it goes towards one side as much being respectful towards everybody. So that's all I'm going for at this point in time.
I don't support being arrested for it. I feel like everybody should be like, you should support whatever anybody like associates as, but you shouldn't be arrested for it either. I feel.
How about like if it's intentional misgendering? If so,
Oh, it's intentional misgendering. I think that could be considered a hate crime if it's overbearing and overdoing it. So in that situation, then
I feel like being arrested and maybe getting a sentence is a bit harsh, but I feel like misgendering someone is definitely discriminatory, should be considered like a hate crime of sorts.
yeah, like from my perspective, there's a difference between like intentional and
I
unintentional
agree.
misgendering.
Like if it's a mistake, then you can apologize and it's over with. If you do so intentionally, you are doing so like with hate.
I like that they like respect people's like choices in their pronouns. I think it's a good way to like it's like an incentive for people to respect their pronouns because like here in the US, if you misgender someone, there's no like consequence really, and I think it can cause harm to those who like really who like identify a certain way and they want that to be respected. So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'd probably have to think on that. Probably not arrested. So that like they classify it as a hate crime now.
Yeah, like if you misgender someone and you get reported, like it can be considered like a hate crime.
That's interesting. I'd have to think more on that. My gut feeling is to say no, but I would have to think more on that probably and look more into it.
Yeah, like from my perspective, you have to differentiate between like intentional and non-intentional misgendering, right?
Because like obviously my brain's like immediately goes to that's not a good thing, you know. That's like not like that would fall under hate speech to do that intentionally. But if you don't know, like you'd have to give someone a couple chances to get it right, you know.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure. I guess that would be kind of a gray area with that. I don't think that's a very black and white issue.
So just two people believe that there should be absolutely no legal consequences for misgendering, and one of them was gay. Other people either agreed with the idea of jailing people for misgendering or thought that there's a difference between intentional and unintentional misgendering. And while unintentional misgendering could be forgiven, intentional misgendering is different from a legal perspective. I was listening to their responses and I was horrified. First of all, don't they realize that if a rule like this is made, how easy it would be to abuse it? And don't they realize how much power this kind of rule would give to people who choose to not use traditional pronouns, especially if they change their pronouns a lot? And I'm not sure if the students know that we have the First Amendment that protects speech. Only one person mentioned freedom of speech, by the way. And the so-called hate speech, even if you call misgendering hate speech, which is ridiculous, is generally protected under the First Amendment. Part of living in a free society means that no group of people has a right to not be offended. You can't censor other people, period. And I think we need to realize that we have produced a whole generation of people who simply don't believe in freedom of speech. At least the majority of the liberal ones don't. I think that really needs to sink in. You know, all these people who think that intentional misgendering warrants legal consequences, they simply don't believe in free speech. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but I don't think that we're headed to a good place. I'll make a whole video detailing my experiences as a troll on campus, so tune in for that. There are previous parts to this video, like other questions that I asked on campus. You can find links in the description to this video. If you like this content, please hit the subscribe button together with the bell sign so that you don't miss any of my future videos. This is Simply Shula.